If we don't act together, then we're nothing. If we don't stick together, we're nothing. And if we can't even trust each other, then we're nothing.
Thank you for calling the Department of Veterans Affairs Office of Inspector General hotline. The VA OIG reviews allegations of VA-related criminal activity, serious patient safety issues, misconduct by senior officials, and mismanagement of VA programs and resources. Cases are accepted on a select basis regarding issues having the most potential risk to veterans and the department, or when the OIG may be the only avenue of redress. If you are calling for help with your VA claim, benefits, health care, or other VA services, please contact your local regional office or medical center for assistance. For information on how to contact other VA offices, press 1. For information on what to include in your complaint and our confidentiality policy, press 2. For operating hours and other methods of contacting the hotline, press 3. To learn how to request information on your complaint, press 4. To hear all of our menus in order, press 5. To provide a verbal report to the Office of Inspector General, please hold for the next available analyst. Your call may be recorded for quality monitoring and other business purposes. If we receive information about possible physical or life-threatening harm to you or others during this call, OIG policy requires that we transfer the call to the Veterans Crisis Line and/or report the information to OIG Investigative or Law Enforcement Services.
VA Office of Inspector General. Name is Jonah, rep number 15. May I have your name, please?
Hi, Jonah.
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me? You fucking asshole. That wasn't on mute.
The following types of information are important to evaluating your complaint: the alleged violations or misconduct, the VA facility or office involved, the identity of the wrongdoers and victims, the dates when the events occurred, the names of any witnesses to the events, the effect of the wrongdoing, such as dollars lost or personal injury, etc., documents that could support the allegation, whether anyone else has already reviewed the allegation. The OIG will keep your identity confidential if you request it. You may also disclose the complaint without providing your name. However, the lack of a complainant's name can often limit our ability to investigate an issue. In addition, the disclosure of the complainant's identity is often necessary and unavoidable when investigating requests for assistance. VA OIG Hotline, this is Renee, RP11. May I have your name, please?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can.
Okay, the last person hung up on me. My name is
Thank you. And are you a veteran or VA employee?
Veteran.
Thank you. May I have your last four? Thank you. And what would you like to report?
Yes, I called in a couple months ago and made a report, and I'm back again doing the same thing. The PA, they've been not very helpful. They gave me some medications that I had adverse reactions to, so then they took that away and didn't replace it with anything, so I was in constant pain. They don't talk with the civilian doctors, there's no communication, so I'm getting care that I shouldn't be getting, or there's care that I should be getting that I'm not, or I'm not a doctor, so I don't know, but the doctor is telling me that I should have to get out of my wheelchair and climb into a van and drive all the way to Grand Island, which is like 45 miles away, somewhere in there, and then do that all again to get back home. And I'm supposed to be doing that to get relief. And then I told him that was painful, so then he was like, well, just use your walker and walk from the door to the van. I'm like, no, that hurts. And he's like, well, I I'm not going to accept that you can't do that. Okay. And then he said something about, we're going to have to do surgery on the neck. And I asked him if he had the right person. He said, well, yeah. And he said my name. And I was like, okay. But the epiduralist was talking about a thoracic part, which is like the mid-back. I was like, and he even gave me an epidural in the mid-back because the paperwork says thoracic. And the doctor's like, well, no, it's C2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. He's like, maybe that's why. And I'm like, well, you need to talk to him because there's some kind of... And he's like, what good is that going to do? Why should I have to talk to him? And I just hung up on him because I have PTSD and this is not helpful.
And you said, so this is the physician assistant. You
Correct.
said, is that correct?
That's correct.
And I'm sorry, what's their name?
Dr. Not Albers, Aarons.
Aaron?
Yes, correct.
Thank you. And I'm sorry, which facility is this again?
The Grand Island Outpatient Clinic.
Thank you. Okay, and when you were talking about the medication,
Correct.
Was it for pain or what was it for?
Yes. I have permanent nerve damage, so they were trying to give me something for the GABA receptors, and that made me shake really, really badly. Like, I couldn't even write my own name. I mean, it was that bad. And I told him, and so he took me off of it, but then he was like, well, I guess you're just going to have to take Tylenol. I'm like, what? That's not going to be helpful for a nerve pain. He's like, and it's ridiculous.
Do you happen to know what medication, the name of the medication by chance?
The ones that didn't work are
Correct, the one you said that made you shake, correct?
Right, are pregabalin and gabapentin.
And nothing was given to replace that medication, correct?
Correct.
And do you know when that was? Was it as far as like an approximate time frame?
Started pregabalin March 6th. Not seeing when I started the... Yeah, I'm not sure when the gabapentin was. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I'll go ahead and add that information in.
Okay.
All right. And when you were speaking, was it Dr. Aarons that you were talking about when they were talking about as far as getting into the van? Is that for transportation to the VA?
Correct.
Okay. And also about, was it an injection or when you were talking about the neck pain and thoracic, was that,
Okay,
what was that for?
I have a bunch of spinal issues, and I went in for an epidural on my lower back, but when I fell February 15th, my upper back is starting to hurt, and they did a thoracic epidural, which is your mid-back, but when I talked to Dr. Aarons Thursday or Friday of last week, the Thursday the 11th, I talked to him, and that's when he told me all that stuff. And then I would have to transfer and the neck thing and all that stuff. So, but he said something about doing surgery on my neck, and I don't know what he's talking about. So then he said C2 through 6 or something like that. I mean, it's all recorded if you want to listen to it. Because he's been dicking me around ever since I went from Dr. Edric Pajorho to him. Because Dr. Edric Pajorho was brand new, didn't know nothing, was telling me that I was abusing medication, that he wasn't going to be able to prescribe me anything because I was abusing it, and none of that's true. So then I switched from him to this guy, to Aarons, and he's just as worse, or he's just as bad.
All right. So just to let you know what I was doing. I was putting the information into system one so that it can be reviewed. What happens next, it'll go based on the allegations healthcare related. They will be sent to our healthcare team. They will review the information and then make determination as far as what needs to happen going forward.
Okay.
All right, so what I'll do, as I mentioned, I'll go ahead and get this information entered and sent over so that it can be reviewed. Once they complete the review, you'll receive something via the mailing address that you provided.
Okay.
All right, so I have what you said. Is there anything else that needs to be added?
I think that's about it.
Okay. Yes, sir. So as I mentioned, I'll go ahead and get this information sent over for review. Thank you for letting us know.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.